So this video is going to be Ravencoin RVN USDT analysis. Shout out to Wanderlust for the recommendation. Sorry it took a few days to get to it. I've been very busy. But if you have any suggestions for altcoins you want me to make a video on, do analysis on a high time frame on, you can leave suggestions in the comments. I'm going to try to start banging out more of those because I got a few suggestions lined up. So, starting off with weekly market structure, my favorite thing to start off with. So, I'd say Ravencoin already got a bullish break on the weekly time frame. I think this is good enough for a weekly retracement. We came down to touch this low, at least on Binance. We just wicked it out, which is, kind of more of a bullish thing. Just kind of shows that people were, stopping out people below this low and confirming this as a weekly lower high before, I got a very quick reversal, essentially. Came up, SFP'd the weekly lower high, but eventually we did get a break. Whether you're staircasing or not, we got an aggressive break of the weekly market structure. So it is in an uptrend right now, and we are approaching what some people may view as an important high, but in reality, this isn't all that important because going back and actually marking out proper structure, we don't have to go all the way to the high, but we can just say, okay, we have a lower high up there. We came down to put in a lower low, a lower high, and right here, the reason I'm not calling this a significant lower high is because we didn't come down to touch the low. So we pretty much just went straight from this lower high up here down to this lower low, and then this is where we got the bullish break. So this high right here isn't all that important when it comes to market structure, but it is, a significant level on the chart. People are probably looking to take profits there, and, SFPing this level could lead to a short-term retracement. So beyond that, I do think that this is an important lower high because there's a pretty good chance that this is higher than weekly time frame market structure. I don't have custom time frames right now. I've been cheaping out on TradingView. I haven't been wanting to pay to get the custom time frames because I don't really need them. But yeah, I would be willing to bet that this is 2-week or 3-week market structure, a 2 or 3 week lower high. Whereas this one is just more like a weekly lower high. So potentially this does relate to current market structure, and if you were on the 2-week or 3-week time frame, you could probably say that market structure just goes from this high down to this low. So in that case, this lower high is an important level, and that high is a ways away. I think it's over a 100% move to get up to there. So when the time comes, I will be paying attention to this level. I think it would be much better to get an aggressive break over this level. But overall, I think things are looking pretty good when it comes to market structure. We are in a weekly uptrend. We, got a nice break here. We put in a higher low before a higher high because we SFP'd this high first. So I would be looking at this as a weekly higher low. So ideally, you don't want to break this low. That would reverse the weekly bullish break if we close below that significantly. And at that point, we're probably right back at the lows. But yeah, at this point, I think even if we start retracing from here, or if we come up to SFP this high and then start retracing, as long as we don't lose this higher low, I think, things are still looking good in terms of weekly market structure. And another thing I want to mention, if you go to log scale, we had a nice trendline break here. You can connect the trendline from the all-time high, and it's basically a perfect fit all the way down. We wicked above it slightly here, but overall, we've gotten plenty of taps off this trend line. Even looks like it found a little bit of resistance in that area here, but we just got a break above that trend line. So that is also a good sign. Not only do we have the market structure break, but we also broke the downwards trend line. So I just thought it was interesting how nicely this trend line fit, and now we are breaking above it. Even looks like we may have back tested it here. Maybe if you adjust it to this wick, that may change things slightly. It doesn't look like it does, but we got a little retrace back, and yeah, then got continuation upwards. Potentially, if we SFP this high, maybe you look for a back test of the trend line then. That is kind of far away, so I don't know if I would be holding my breath for that. But overall, it seems like we are seeing bullish confirmations. I think breaking this trend line is a bullish confirmation. I think breaking market structure is a bullish confirmation. So now let's talk about market cipher. So on the weekly time frame, we are seeing money flow increase. It is working its way up to the zero line, looking like it may cross in the near future. We saw a very deep anchor wave, the deepest anchor wave that we got to the downside, and then momentum shot right up. And you can technically call this a trigger wave, even though the green dot didn't print below the zero line. We did see momentum slightly cross under there. You can see that little white kind of triangle right there. Momentum just barely crossed under. It's not, that important to get a clean looking trigger wave, I don't think. Maybe it would make me feel a little bit better if the trigger wave did come down a little bit. But we still printed a higher low in momentum. We then put in a higher high in momentum. Momentum is now crossing over the 60 line. And even though money flow is starting to cut to the downside here, it's overall on an uptrend. And I think as long as it kind of maintains this uptrend, as long as we don't take out this higher low with money flow, then I think things are looking relatively good. We can see on this current momentum wave that it's not quite ready to top out. VWAP started coming to the downside. Now it's kind of flattening out. Potentially it kind of curves back up for some more continuation. I'm thinking that because we got over the 60 line, usually this is like the runaway momentum level. If momentum, especially on a high time frame, gets above there, then there is typically some continuation following that, especially if it's not showing immediate signs of topping out, which would be the white part of this momentum wave kind of clipping off, coming to like a claw or a point. On the daily time frame, we are also seeing momentum above the 60 line. Money flow is working its way up. It is starting to curve over this direction, which could show signs of this money flow coming in kind of slowing down. That's typically what that means. If you continue that curvature over, then it ends up coming back down. But with momentum right now steadily above the 60 line, it's gotten some retracements back down, but it's gotten back above the 60 line. And right now, money flow is continuing to put in higher highs. So based on this, it looks like it may have some more upside potential. There is, though, the possibility of a slight bearish div with money flow, depending on if this tops out in the near future. Let's say it does something like that, then we could have a slight bear div, and also maybe a slight bear div with momentum, which isn't looking super bearish just because money flow is getting pretty thick in the green. Momentum is above the 60 line. It's not looking like a strong divergence, but potentially it could lead to some kind of retracement. Maybe this is where we get the retracement from this not really important level, but still an important high in the sense that people are probably going to be selling there. And maybe that leads to some kind of retracement. It's kind of too early to say. But overall, it's not looking too bearish, especially with the weekly looking relatively strong as it is. And, we can go down to some lower time frames. We are seeing money flow start to come out on the 4 hour, on the 3 hour. So, yeah, on some of these lower time frames, money flow is starting to come out a little bit. Potentially that does lead to a retracement then. So let's say it does start to retrace. What are some levels where I may look for support if we begin working our way back down? I would look at the value area of this range. I don't love that the point of control is down here. I would prefer if it was kind of closer to the value area high, but you could look at the value area high, look for a potential back test of that. Maybe we get a deeper retracement and come down to the point of control, but I don't think that would look as strong as just kind of back testing the value area high. And we did kind of already back test this area. Looks like we actually front ran it slightly on this daily wick. But now there is confluence with the golden pocket coming in right around that value area high now that we put in a higher high. So I am still liking this area, coming in around 0.022 to 0.02 basically is the zone that I'd be interested in. And if it loses this support, then yeah, I would look down to the point of control where we also have confluence with the 786. But I think finding support in this area would be a better sign of strength. and potentially the 0.5 may line up with the highs right over here, and it does, so you could look at that as well. Maybe we don't come down to the value area high again. So overall, I think Ravencoin has some bullish confirmations here with the weekly market structure, with the trend line breaking, and with weekly money flow moving to the upside, weekly momentum putting in higher highs, getting above key areas. And I think if it retraces in the short term, that may provide an opportunity. There's no guarantees of any of these levels holding. If we get a retracement, I'll be looking for confirmations in those zones. I'm not just gonna, blindly enter longs in any of those areas. But I may potentially blindly buy some if it gets a retracement. Of course, with proper risk management, because I think this does have some good upside potential. Up to its all-time highs, it is, about a 1,000% move from, that area. If you're buying right here, it's like an 800% move. So I think, Ravencoin has some good upside potential. It is showing high time frame bullish confirmations, and it hasn't really pumped all that much yet. I mean, from its low, it's probably pumped a good amount, but there's still plenty of ways to go to reach some of these important resistances. And of course, if this starts to put in higher highs, then some of my levels will change. Of course, the fib pull will change. So it depends on where we start retracing from. From there, I'll come up with my levels of support that I'm looking at. But, if we do come up in just SFP this high, this golden pocket is lining up better with this value area high. But we'll have to see when the time comes. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this asset. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and leaving a comment. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you all in the next video.